Are you tired of the typical libraries with conventional music that makes you feel meh? Introducing Leerecs.com, the music website made for and by minds like you. Our team are lifelong musicians and producers in love with music. Search the Leerecs music catalogs and find music with guaranteed originality. Mark the difference with music of signature at Leerecs.com. Be part of the movement. Visit Leerecs.com today or download the Leerecs app from the App Store or Google Play for free. Be part of the movement. Visit Leerecs.com today or download the Leerecs app from the App Store or Google Play for free. Leerecs.com, the music website made for and by minds like you. Our team are lifelong musicians and producers in love with music. Search the Leerecs music catalogs and find music with guaranteed originality. Mark the difference with music of signature at Leerecs.com.
And we have with us Jordan from Faced. You were listening to Sheet Music from Death Trip, their album. So, hey Jordan, how are you?
Hey, how we doing, man?
We're good, we're good. Thank you so much for being with us. Man, this track sounds really, really hard. Tell us a little bit about this band, this project, your project, and, this song in particular, Sheet Music.
Yeah, me and the drummer, we've been jamming on this track for a while. For a few years, we kind of had a revolving door of musicians, bass player, and I used to sing, but I thought it would be stronger and harder if we recruited an actual singer and a new bass player. And once we found the two right guys, everything just came together perfect. I mean, they wrote their parts on top of everything, and it really came together. So that track, Sheet Music, it was been the demo process for many years. But once these two guys came on board, it really just took on a life of its own, And when we did write it, it was a few years back. We were kind of in our younger years and experienced a lot of crazy stuff. So we decided to kind of, write about real life experience things, and that's where that came from. So.
It really sounds fantastic, man. The production, and it sounds really, really tight. I hear a lot of great influences here. You'll tell me more about it. I really want to understand, the name of the band is Faced. Is that right?
Yes. Yes, Faced.
Awesome. And you're based in New York, is that right?
Yeah, we're up in upstate New York, 518 area, Albany.
Awesome.
Right. People say upstate, they say, up by Canada, but this is more considered upstate from here and up, from Albany on up, and, we're from the outskirts of Albany.
And, so it sounds like you've been around for a long time. Why don't you tell us more, the initiations of the band, for how long you've been playing, and you personally? How did you discover music? How did you decide, I want to become a musician?
Well, my father, my father pretty much threw a guitar in my hands as soon as I could walk. So ever since I was a little kid, I've been playing guitar. It was kind of one of those things that, guitar feels like breathing to me because I've been doing it for so long, and I've always enjoyed it. Me and my dad used to jam together. He taught me 3 chords, and next thing you know, then I'm playing metal. Once I found metal, I was off on my own, just playing my own stuff, because my dad played a lot of acoustic, classic rock stuff like the Beatles and all that, which was cool for his time, And so I started really engulfing, locking myself in my room for 8 hours a day through my teen years, and really just had an ultimate love for playing guitar. And when I was doing that, I met this guy named Jason Matthews, and he played piano at the time, and he also played bass, and he lived up the road from me, pretty much like 5 houses up. So ever since we were teenagers, we would collaborate and play music together and come up with ideas. And then his father bought a drum set, and once that happened, me and him, I was playing guitar, he was playing drums, and we kept just dumping more money into better equipment, and eventually got to the point where his father actually built us a jam room out back of his house, 20 foot by 20 foot, just so we could, play and record and party.
Well, and, sounds fantastic. You got your own studio. Yeah. So, we decided on the name Face. The original name was Balls Out, but we said, we need something a little more, a little better than that. It was a great name, but we need something that's just something that really identifies us with. And we spent most our teen years getting faced anyway, so we figured that would be a good idea, And so then we had a couple different guys play with us, really really good guys, but they never really fit the mold, of what it was supposed to be. Because me and the drummer locked in so tight, it was really hard to find anybody that could jam with us that was really pulling their own weight around, And so finally we put out a couple demos over the years, but it really just nothing really came about it, because like I said, all members weren't really firing the way it was supposed to be. And then we met Philip Lupin, who I met him years ago. He was in a bunch of death metal stuff that he was doing, really cool stuff, and so he was more on the harder edge of things. But when I first saw him, he was 13, screaming his head off. When this kid opened his mouth, you were just like, Jesus, that guy's got some kahunas, And he was 13 playing with the big dogs up on stage, 20-year-olds, 30-year-olds, and he was holding his own. And he was really good, but he was doing his thing, we were doing our thing. So, and at that time I was singing, so I figured he wouldn't, really want to do what I was doing because I was already doing it. And so we were trying to develop our style at that time. But a really great guy. And then we also met this other guy named Stephen Wick, who played in a couple bands with Phil too, and he actually plays guitar.
like me, he's a really great guitar player. But he has also played bass too. He's does them both, and I mean, he's definitely a monster on the bass. So Phil started sending me some of his demos to play guitar on, just as like we were kind of goofing around on a couple of these projects. They were more like death metal projects. They weren't metal, but they were fun to play on. He already had the drums and everything, so he would send them to me. I'd send him back guitar. Literally, I would record them in like 2 hours or whatever. One take stuff. And it was just a fun little project, and it was called Sarah Ann Wood. And from that, we said, well, you know what? This is there's something going on here. Maybe you should try out singing for Faced. And the first I started sending him some tracks, and when he was sending them back to me, it was like the voice we kept hearing in our heads for all these years, but never could quite find it. And he took it and he ran with it, and he made it his own, and he basically just took over. And at that point I was like, man, I don't even want to sing. This guy just really hits a home, man. I mean, like kind of like AC/DC had Bon Scott. The guy had a real raspy, crazy voice, but he was one of the best hard rock singers ever.
Yeah.
Bon Scott. And when we heard him, and it was a little more aggressive style than what I was singing, but he's like the Bon Scott of heavy metal. I mean, yeah, there's a lot of growlers out there, but somebody that can actually take it, mold it, make it their own, and really project the image and the really make the song his own like that was amazing. And so we got with him, and then he knew Phil. We knew, he knew Steve. Phil knew Steve, and we knew Steve from years ago. And we were trying to find a bass player. And at that time, we had a couple guys that were supposed to show up. They never showed up, and I'm grateful they didn't show up, because then Steve Wick, he showed up, and he just nailed it out of the park. I mean, he's one of those guys, you show him a song once or twice, and he's got the whole song down. And as you can tell, some of the stuff I'm playing is really some relentlessly, it takes a lot of stamina to play. And right off the rip, he was just keeping up with us, if not, pushing us even a little further. So so we started doing some band practices, and we got it locked in for a few months. So we said, all right, let's do a couple gigs, and we've done a couple gigs, and every time we play out, man, we're just annihilating them. It's just what you hear on the record is exactly what you hear live. I mean, there's a couple little different things live, but I mean, generally that's how we play, is exactly on the record is what you're going to get live.
It really sounds, it has a lot, like you said, stamina, strength, a lot of quality. We can hear that, you're all great players, and it sounds really tight and unique. It has some, it has its own sound, like you were saying. The voice, I think you said it's Philip, that's the name of the singer?
Philip, yep.
Philip. Steven, that's the bassist? Steven?
Yep, that's the bassist, yeah.
Awesome. You have, the drummer is Steven as well, for what I understood.
His name is Jason Matthews. And he's kind of like, the Keith Moon of the group, he's not the traditional, a traditional, like death metal drummer. He's more of a metal drummer. He's actually, he's got the girth. When we recorded him, like a lot of these bands these days are put in the studio, are filling all their albums with samples. Like what you hear on that record is what he played from the beginning to the end. He did like, he actually kept, like anytime he would mess up, he'd be like, nope, stop, re-roll it. I'm doing the whole song. He would do the song from A to Z, from the first note to the first beat to the last beat. He would, straight through. And as a drummer, I don't know, I don't know if you know how hard that is, but that's really hard to really go through a whole song and actually do it precise as he did,
Oh yeah, oh yeah, that's tremendously hard. And like you said, a lot of records you hear nowadays, the drums are mostly samples, like you're saying. To take and record his tracks from beginning to end, That's just amazing, man. That's really a sign of a real musician, and I love to hear that. Honestly, it sounds perfect.
Yeah.
On time, on the tick. Really fantastic. Congratulations to Jason Matthews. Wonderful
Jason
drummer.
Matthews, yes.
Wonderful drummer.
He also he did it out of his head without a guitar scratch track. That's another thing that really impressed me, is because most bands, they'll have the guitar player play with the drums, or they'll have the guitar player play a scratch track, and they'll put, the drummer will play along with it, but then the guitar will come back and re-record it on top of that.
Yeah.
But he did it all out of his head. That's how well he knows the songs.
My goodness, that's incredible. That's really next time. Please, next time we have you guys on, we need to speak with Jason. This is just fantastic, amazing.
Oh, definitely. I'm sure he'll be glad to talk to you too.
I love to.
A lot of. Now, you also said the production of the album.
Yeah.
I recorded that in my house. With
really?
Yes, we recorded it all in the house. Everything's organic. There's no VST plugins. There's no fake guitar amp. There's no fake bass. There's nothing about it's fake. The only thing we did was when we had it mixed and mastered by a gentleman named Tom Case, which around here in upstate New York, he's mixed, mastered great bands like Skinless, Section 8, a few other really great bands from around here, and he's like really well known. And originally we were going to go with this one guy that works with these really big bands, and we said, you know what, we like Tom's stuff, let's see what he can do. And he really mixed and mastered the heck out of it. But it sounded good going to him. It sounded like 3D coming back, and he just knocked it out of the park. I mean, the only thing he did was reinforced the snare and the bass a little bit on Jay's drums. Other than that, those drums are exactly how they were recorded in the studio.
That's incredible. So Tom Case, mixing
Thomas
master.
Case, yep.
Thomas Case,
yep.
Mixing mastering. I love what you said. You made the choice to go with the guy that you liked the most, the work besides.
Yes.
Yeah, and good choice. The record sounds incredible. It's for sale on Bandcamp.
Yep, we got it on Bandcamp. We got it on everywhere. We got it on iTunes, Bandcamp. It's on Spotify. It's on what's that other one? DistroKid, Google Play, Apple. I mean, everything. Anywhere you could buy an album, it's on there.
Awesome. The record is everywhere, and I totally recommend it. This is really good. And like we heard, it's made for real. There's no, there's nothing that is not real here. So.
Totally real, 100% real.
100%. So please go get it. Go listen to it. It is really good, and get it. This is Death Trip from the band Faced, and man, we could be talking for really forever. Jordan, I hope I want to know if you have gigs going on. Where can we get informed about your concerts? Where can we go see you? Tell us a little bit about that.
Well, on Faced, it's Faced 518 Faced is a Facebook group we have for the band. But so you'll always see a link on there. Like the 28th or 29th of September, we're playing at it's called the Fuse Box, which was a former QE2, put on by. We're opening it up for a band, the Clay People, which is a really big band around here in Albany, really great band, and so we're opening up for those guys. That's the next gig we have. But yeah, if you just look on our Facebook group, you can always see a gig, and we're always looking for gigs, so always tracking down the gigs to play the next one.
We'll try to we'll follow you. Faced 518. That's a group. The next Faced 518. That is a group.
Yeah, well, it's Faced 518 Faced.
Faced. Got it.
Yeah, it's like two words with 518 in the middle.
Awesome. 29th of September.
Yep.
You're gonna be at the Fuse Box and opening for the Clay people. And,
yes, it's going to be an amazing show. It's going to be sold out. It's going to be awesome.
That's going to be awesome. Fantastic.
Thanks to Mike Valenti from Black and Blue. He's putting the he's getting us on the show, and I don't know if you ever heard of Brick by Brick, but that's his band. He's also a really good band too. You should definitely check them out. They're amazing.
Oh, absolutely.
And,
absolutely.
And he does a lot of work for Upstate Black and Blue. And you should check that out too. There's a lot of good bands on there that he promotes and puts on there.
Absolutely, we will.
Awesome.
Jordan, look, I'd love to have you on. Later, sometime in the future, if that's okay, and we'll speak also.
Yeah,
with
anytime,
Jason.
Man.
That's
yeah, most definitely.
That's fantastic. And just to say goodbye for now, any last message you'd like to say?
If you haven't heard the album yet, check it out. YouTube is pretty much a giveaway. You just type in Face Death Trip on there, and that's free to listen to. But that's actually MP3s that were put up there. The real good stuff is when you buy it on iTunes or all the other ones I mentioned. Google Play, because those are actually WAV files, so they're a higher quality. Those are what's actually on the physical CD. And those really sound a lot better than what's on you'd find on YouTube. We did it kind of that way, kind of on purpose, but kind of by accident too. We were looking just to give away the first CD, but once we heard the WAV on the actual CD form, it was amazing. It blew our minds. So any money that somebody would buy it buy the album would just go towards the making of the next. I already have the second album recorded. We just have to do a couple more finishing touches on it. But if somebody wanted to buy our record, it's kind of like donating towards the mixing and mastering of the next album. So
absolutely.
So if you haven't heard it, check it out.
You have to check out. Go ahead. Sure.
Well, we're not looking to get rich off it. We're just looking to get our name out there and get exposure as much as we can and get as many gigs as we can and definitely kind of blow it up.
Absolutely. You gotta listen to these bands. These are real people, real musicians. The record, buy it because it goes towards helping Face to release their next album, and we want to get behind bands like this. Real musicians making real music with truth and with quality. Jordan, it's been a real pleasure. Thank you so much.
You too, man. I appreciate it.
Only the best, man, and continue doing what you're doing. You're doing fantastic.
Thank you, brother.
Absolutely. All right, until the next time.
All right, man. I'll see you next time.
Okay.
Thanks, man.
Bye-bye.
part of the movement. Visit Leerecs.com today or download the Leerecs app. Are you tired of the typical libraries with conventional music that makes you feel meh? Introducing Leerecs.com, the music website made for and by minds like you. Our team are lifelong musicians and producers in love with music. Search the Leerecs music catalogs and find music with guaranteed originality. Mark the difference with music of signature at Leerecs.com. Be part of the movement. Visit Leerecs.com today or download the Leerecs app from the App Store or Google Play for free.
So, as promised, we have Pilod with Black Swan playing on the background, and we have Frederick here with us to talk about this band. So, Frederick, how is it going?
Hello, I'm fine, thank you.
Wonderful, wonderful. I'm really glad to have you. This song sounds absolutely amazing. And why don't you start introducing yourself and introducing a little bit about Pilod and Black Swan, this song in particular.
Okay, so I'm Frederik from the band Pilod. We play alternative rock and we're from Belgium. We started in 2012. We're only 3 musicians, drums, bass and guitar, and I play the guitar and I'm the singer as well. After a lot of jamming and giving a few concerts, we launched our first album, Sunny Forecast, in 2013. Then we changed from drummer. Valerie decided to leave the band in summer of 2014. And Geert, our new drummer, an old acquaintance, he was a new member of Pilod, and it gave a new dynamic. I think also a firmer sound. And in 2016, we launched our second album. It was called Black Swan. In which the theme of the Black Swan, the impact of the highly improbable appeared, and that's our last album at the moment. At this moment, we're working on new material, and we might launch another new album 2019.
In 2019.
So next year, yeah.
Next year. Next year.
Yeah.
Wow.
But we don't have concrete plans yet. But I think it should be. We should be ready at that moment.
Yeah. Well, I gather this is a very consolidated band with a long trajectory. We're talking. Your first release was in 2013.
Yeah.
It's already 5 years now. But can you repeat the name of the album, the first album?
It's called. It was called Sunny Forecast.
Sunny Forecast. Wonderful. In 2016, that's when you released your second album. Right, and Black Swan, the song we're listening to, that's in this second album, right? So what's the title of that second album?
Well, the title is Black Swan. It's the video I sent you, and the single we launched has the same name as the album.
Same name as the album.
Yeah. And I suppose that you want to know a bit why the album is called Black Swan.
Absolutely. No, not only that, we always are interested in learning more about the backstory of the songs and your inspiration when you write. I am assuming you are the writer of a song. Maybe I'm wrong.
Yes, indeed. I'm the writer of the song, and I think the last album was I got my inspiration of things happening around me. I guess the song title is a kind of personal story. Was to me it was a tough story, and it helped me to write a song about it and to canalize my frustrations in one way or another.
We always Frederick, we appreciate so much when musicians, songwriters like yourself write about based on their personal experience. That's and trying to communicate their pure, their inside feelings. So. Do you want to tell us more about this song in particular? What's striving to?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Well, I was. I think I had the experience to have a manager. He thought he could permit himself anything. He thought he was invincible at a certain moment, untouchable. And until one day that the truth came to light by someone, and it led to a situation that I think this guy never thought it was a scenario that was likely to happen. And when I was writing this song, I noticed there was a book about the Black Swan, and the Black Swan is a kind of thing that is very unlikely to happen, but with a huge impact, and mostly it's negative. And I think this experience for this manager must have been a black swan. So I wrote this song because it was very frustrating for me. It was a very frustrating period for me, the injustice, and certainly. So the story finally ends this way, that the guy ran and he tried to retire as soon as possible. So now it all changed a bit. So that's why I wrote this song, and I think it's another sound, maybe another song on the album Black Swan. And I think you at a few moments you can hear my frustration.
Wow, that's unbelievable, incredible. What that's such a fantastic story behind it. Yeah, definitely you really can hear your feelings on these songs. Fantastic voice, by the way, very unique, very interesting. Absolutely, the quality is just over the top. But that, one of the reasons why we decided to pay attention to your band. Really interesting, very interesting. You're totally right, and that's, I guess, the best way to canalize, like you were saying, such feelings, to put it into a piece of art, like you did very well with this song and the rest of your album. And
thank you.
Absolutely. I'm interested if you want to tell us, when and why you started playing music.
With the band or in life?
In life. When you decided, how did you come to that decision to pick up an instrument, or tell us, more about that story.
In my personal in my life, I started playing, I think, music when I was 16, 17. I remember that there was a local band playing a lot of covers, but the wrong covers, I thought so. And I wanted to play alternative music. And I wanted to play as soon as I could my own songs. So I bought myself a bass guitar. And I remember I was singing before a lot with my brother, even at the age of 10, mostly popular songs that were on the radio, etc. But to me, it was like a chance really to express myself and to feed this hunger to play music. So I first played the bass, and I was a singer, but it evolved. I think it was 10 years ago. I started to play the guitar. I am a kind of autodidact, so I try to look for the sounds that to me sound good. I don't play chords, or I just try to find myself the combination of sounds that really are interesting in our kind of music.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So that's.
Please go.
Yeah, tell me.
Please go ahead.
Yeah, so I think I don't have let me say, a normal way of playing guitar. And I think the unique thing about Pilod is that in this way the bass player plays from time to time almost the role of the guitar, and sometimes I still play kind of bass style on my guitar, and so this might give a kind of unique sound of Pilod.
Absolutely. That is such an interesting story. I'm so interested to understand. You kind of did the opposite transition as most people. They normally start playing guitar and then transition to bass, but you did the opposite. And why was that?
I think playing bass and being the singer at the same time is very difficult. It's a very difficult combination, I think. If you want to have a good rhythm bass, you should play very well together with the drums, and being a bass player and a singer at the same time has its limits, I think. So at first I played some songs still with the bass, the other songs with the guitar, and it evolved in playing more guitar and gave me more freedom to to play my songs.
Wow, yeah, I kind of read, I kind of infer from that story that you kind of found yourself wanting to do more complex things on the vocals, maybe,
Yeah.
right, in
Yeah,
finding
really.
some limitations while you were trying to keep up with the rhythm as a bassist.
Yeah. Indeed.
That's fantastic. And the next aspect that I want to touch upon is the uniqueness, the unique way that you use your guitar. Like you said, is more abstract, more spatial sound type of. You're trying to create atmospheres, really, or tell us more about that if you want.
I think I use a lot of my intuition in playing the guitar. To me, finally, the thing that counts is the sound and the atmosphere you create with your guitar, not the parts you are playing. I think I already several times I wanted to teach myself the known parts that a guitar player should know, but to me they all sound mostly boring.
Yeah.
And so when I create a song, I mostly go and try to find other ways of putting my fingers on the guitar until it sounds like it should sound. And from time to time, when we do a cover of a certain band, I go on the internet and I try to learn the parts needed to play the song. But mostly, I just use my intuition. I think I can be thankful to have great ears and to hear what sounds good and not. It's I developed my style in this way.
That's fantastic. That's just perfect. We love uniqueness. We love innovation. Originality. I love what you're telling me right now. Even trying to create your own chords or your own positions, your own notes, trying to find a unique defining sound. That is, I really encourage you to follow, to continue that path. It's fantastic. But at the same time, you mentioned that you also play covers, and I'd like to understand your influences. What do you think are your major influencers?
I think 1 week ago I saw on Pickle Pop here in Belgium, I saw an incredible good band. You must know, it's Arcade Fire. And I think 1 year ago in Antwerp I saw a band called a Canadian band called Broken Social Scene. I don't know whether you can hear those influences in our music. I guess it might not be this way, but maybe it's just the energy. But we have also influences from bands from the 90s. I think bands like Sonic Youth, they created also their own sound, their own chords. I think we might like also Pavement or the guy from Pavement, Stefan Malkmus, is a great guitar player and singer. So it's about everything, but even with the band, we try to use as much as possible our intuition. We don't think like we should make kind of song in this way or with those influences. Just create something and just see how it evolves and how we can make original songs.
That's the best way, really. And we speak with so many musicians. I think I find a lot of times I find musicians saying, "Well, these are my influences," and that's how I find ways to come to my own music. But at the same time, you all, the good ones, the ones that we like, you all have a uniqueness. You take that source in your head and in your heart, and then develop something new, and that's really what we look for. That's what that's where we're behind off, and I love that. I really like that. I see you are a band with a found sound trajectory, and planning to release a new album. I'd like to understand, where can we find these records, and where can we buy your tickets to go to your concerts, to your gigs? When are you planning to have new concerts? And please let us know.
Yeah, you can always find the news on our Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, and our on our website pilotband.com. You can find all the news. We will announce it on these media. Thinking about the concerts, we only have 2 concerts planned at this moment. We want to use the upcoming concerts especially to test new songs, and we'll do a lot more concerts again when the time is ready, and that's when we are launching our 3rd album.
Sounds good. We definitely will indicate pilotband.com. We'll have it everywhere on description.
Yeah.
And
okay.
I find it perfect. You're gonna test your new songs with your audience and see what the feedback is, and that's just great. Pilod. I'd like to know, where does the name come from? If you'd like to tell us.
Well, I think. First of all, the name is a kind of village in India, in Rajasthan, I think. But when we came up with the name Pilot, first we thought about the name with a T, just Pilot. But to me, it was too normal, maybe, to use this word for the band. So the D stands for maybe also the maybe not the difference with bands you hear every day. I think it stands for the alternative sound we have, and when we chose the name, we said okay, because I think Pilot also stands for adventure. We like to play a lot. Belgium is a very small country, so we also want to play abroad. We said, okay, if we play sometime in Pilot in Rajasthan, it will be our final and last concert. So that's a story about the name.
Amazing. I love it. That's so unique. Yeah. It is fantastic. Well, good job with that, really. Pilot with D of difference. All right. So, Frederick, it's been a real pleasure. I really hope we could be speaking forever, but I really hope we can repeat this in the future. And when you're ready with the upcoming new album, you let us know, and we'll play it, and we'll have you again. If that would be a real pleasure. And
okay, great.
Fantastic, thank you. Just to say goodbye for now, any last message you'd like to say?
So thank you very, very much for sharing our music, and we hope we will come and play in the United States soon, maybe in 2019. Thank you very much for supporting it.
Absolutely, absolutely. Thanks to you. Fantastic band, Pilod, Black Swan, upcoming album next year, probably coming to play to United States. We'll keep an eye on you. Keep an eye on you.
Okay, fine.
Hopefully that last concert in Pilod will be in a long, long time, and we'll we'll continue here to delight ourselves with your music for a long time. For a long time.
Okay.
So Fredrik, pleasure, and until next time. Goodbye.
Okay. Now. It was my pleasure. Thank you. Greetings from Belgium. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Music that makes you feel meh. Introducing Leerecs.com, the music website made for and by minds like you. Our team are lifelong musicians and producers in love with music. Search the Leerecs music catalogs and find music with guaranteed originality. Mark the difference with music of signature at Leerecs.com. Part of the movement. Visit Leerecs.com today or download the Leerecs app from the App Store or Google Play for free.